Of what profound power are you truly the master? Is it the world around you, or the silent, potent space that exists between a feeling and a reaction? Within that fleeting pause lies the key to unshakable confidence and a deep, abiding inner peace. This journey will illuminate the path to mastering that moment, using the timeless strategies of the Stoics to train the mind and fortify the soul. Think before you feel too much. Emotion pause. Stoic strategy, compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. Recognize when emotion takes over. Imagine a vast, placid lake at dawn, its surface a flawless mirror reflecting the tranquil sky. This is the mind in a state of stillness. Now picture a single, unseen pebble dropped into its heart and watch as concentric ripples begin to distort that perfect reflection, warping the heavens into a chaotic dance of light and shadow. This is the precise moment that emotion begins its silent, velvet coup over the empire of your mind. We so often drift through our days completely unaware that we are no longer the captain of our own vessel, but have become a mere passenger, tossed about by the rising, unpredictable swells of anger, anxiety, or a fleeting, insatiable desire. The initial ripple of feeling goes entirely unnoticed until we find ourselves caught in the full fury of a tempest. Reacting to life's circumstances with a passion that feels at once intensely real and yet strangely alien to the person we believe ourselves to be. We are swept away by a current that seems to have appeared from nowhere, forgetting that it began with a single, unobserved disturbance. The first, most critical act of mastery is not to attempt to calm the storm, but simply to develop the wisdom to notice the first drops of rain. The truly transformative solution is to cultivate the inner sentinel, a detached and vigilant part of your consciousness that does nothing more than observe the initial stirrings of emotion without judgment, without alarm, and without engagement. It is the profound practice of mindful self-awareness, a quiet internal acknowledgement that a feeling is beginning to emerge from the depths. This approach is anchored in the fundamental Stoic understanding that we are not our emotions. Feelings, no matter how powerful, are merely guests, transient visitors that arrive, stay for a time, and then invariably depart. By learning to recognize their arrival at the gate, we cease to mistakenly identify with them. This conscious act of recognition creates a sliver of daylight, a sacred pause between the external stimulus and our internal response, a space where reason and wisdom can finally flourish. The benefit of this practice is nothing less than the reclamation of your inner sovereignty. You come to the profound realization that while you may never control the weather of the world, you can and must learn to be the unwavering commander of your own ship. To bring this ancient wisdom into the fabric of your modern life, begin by choosing a recurring, minor emotional trigger you routinely face. Perhaps it is the slow crawl of traffic when you are in a hurry, or the low-grade irritation that arises from a colleague's repetitive habit. Your task is not to vanquish or suppress the feeling. Instead, your sole objective is to greet it. The moment you feel the familiar sting of annoyance, simply say to yourself, there is frustration. Do not elaborate upon it. Do not justify it. Do not condemn it. Just label the emotion with the calm detachment of a scientist identifying a specimen. Practice this simple, potent act of naming throughout your day with every feeling that crosses the threshold of your awareness. As you commit to this practice, you will begin to notice a remarkable and empowering shift in your inner landscape. The feelings themselves will start to lose their immediacy, their unquestioned authority to command your attention and dictate your actions. You will transition from being the emotion to being the serene, unflappable observer of the emotion. This discipline creates a foundation of unassailable inner calm, a quiet center that remains steadfast and undisturbed even as the weather of your feelings continues to change. For the next week, dedicate yourself to becoming a diligent, compassionate observer of your inner world. Keep a small journal if it helps you, noting the moments when you successfully recognized an emotion just as it arose. This is not a test to be passed, but a skill to be honed. Do not strive for perfection, but only for a growing awareness. This is the foundational step on the path to becoming the unshaken master of your own mind. Now that we have learned to see the ripples the moment they form, we must develop the wisdom to understand their message. In our next lesson, we will forge a new tool to explore how to separate the raw, objective data of a feeling from the often fictional stories we tell ourselves about it. Before we proceed, if you are finding true value in this journey of self-discovery, please support our work by liking this video and subscribing to the Stoic Power channel. Your engagement is the wind in our sails, helping us bring this ancient wisdom to more seekers of strength and tranquility. Lesson 2. Separate signal from sensation. Picture a lone watchman standing upon the highest parapet of a stone tower, his gaze fixed upon the distant, darkening horizon. He sees a flicker of light. Is it the warm, welcoming glow of a friendly traveler's campfire, or the cold, menacing glint of an approaching enemy's unsheathed sword? The light itself is merely a neutral signal, a raw piece of data. The interpretation of that light, however, is a matter of life and death. So it is with the landscape of our emotions. Our inner world is constantly being bombarded with raw, physical signals. A sudden tightness in the chest, a rapid quickening of the pulse, a familiar, uncomfortable knot forming in the stomach. Our untrained mind, in a desperate rush to create meaning and order from this chaos, instantly weaves a dramatic and often catastrophic story around these raw sensations. The tightness in the chest immediately becomes crippling anxiety about the future. The quickening pulse is instantly labeled uncontrollable anger. We then react not to the objective signal, the simple physical sensation, but to the elaborate and often deeply flawed story that we have created from it. The transformative solution is to train ourselves to become master interpreters of our inner world, to consciously and deliberately pause in order to separate the raw physical signal from the emotional sensation, which is the story. It is the acquired discipline of asking, what am I physically feeling in my body right now, before ever allowing ourselves to ask, what does this feeling mean? This deliberate deconstruction creates a crucial buffer of time, a sacred space that allows our rational mind to step in before the powerful current of narrative can sweep us away. The Stoics, in their profound wisdom, taught that it is not external events that disturb us, but our judgments about those events. An event occurs in the world, our body produces a corresponding physical signal, and then our mind adds a layer of subjective judgment, which we then experience as emotion. By dismantling this automatic process, we empower ourselves to challenge the validity of the judgment itself. The benefit is an immense and liberating clarity. You cease to be the helpless victim of your own dramatic narratives and become a calm, detached analyst of your own internal data, empowered to choose a more rational, constructive, and virtuous interpretation. The next time you feel a strong emotion beginning to brew within you, stop. If you can, close your eyes for a brief moment and conduct a body scan. Ask yourself, with genuine curiosity, where exactly is this feeling located? Is it hot or is it cold? Is the sensation sharp and piercing or is it dull and diffuse? Is it expanding and radiating or is it contracting and pulling inward? Describe the pure physical properties of the signal as if you were a physician examining a patient, noting only the objective facts. Only after you have compiled a clear and unbiased inventory of the physical data should you permit yourself to consider the story your mind is attempting to attach to it. You will be astonished at how often the story is far more catastrophic and terrifying than the raw data ever warrants. This disciplined practice systematically disarms the tyranny of your emotions. That overwhelming sense of anxiety becomes merely a vibrating sensation in my solar plexus and a noticeable shallowness in my breathing. That blinding rage is reduced to a feeling of heat in my face and a clenching sensation in my jaw and fists. By breaking the emotion down into its component physiological parts, you see it for what it truly is, a transient, impersonal event unfolding in your body, not an all-encompassing truth about your reality. This radical shift in perspective grants you the power to address the root cause of the signal with a calm, focused, and purposeful mind. This week, commit to being an emotional detective. Whenever a powerful feeling arises, make it your mission to investigate the physical evidence first. Consider writing down the signal on one side of a page and the sensation, the story, on the other. Notice how frequently the story wildly exaggerates the evidence. This is the training ground where true emotional resilience is forged. We have now learned to see the emotion as it arises and to analyze its constituent parts. But how do we prevent that emotion from sweeping us away in the heat of a challenging moment? Our next lesson will forge the unbreakable anchor of the soul, the profound Stoic art of building inner distance. To continue this vital exploration of self-mastery with us, please consider leaving a comment below, sharing your own experience of separating a signal from a sensation. And be sure to subscribe to Stoic Power and activate notifications so you never miss a step on this journey to unleashing your inner strength. Lesson 3. Build inner distance. Before reacting, imagine yourself as an archer, standing resolute in an open field. Your target is not a physical object, but a fleeting moment in the future, the perfect, virtuous response to a provocation. The untrained mind, when provoked, draws and releases the arrow in a single spastic motion. The shot is wild, driven by the tremor of anger or fear. The Stoic archer, however, knows that the power lies not in the speed of the release, but in the stillness before it. She draws the bowstring taut, feels the immense tension, but she holds. In that deliberate extended pause, she creates distance. She observes the wind, she steadies her breath, she refines her aim. The world screams for an immediate reaction, but she provides a measured response. This is the essence of building inner distance. The common human struggle is the feeling of being psychologically fused with our emotional reactions. An insult is thrown, and we are the anger. A setback occurs, and we are the despair. There is no space, no daylight between the external event and our internal state. This fusion makes us intensely vulnerable, turning us into puppets whose strings are pulled by outside circumstances and other people's actions. We cede the very fortress of our mind to the first invader who knocks on the gate, believing we have no choice but to let them in. We feel an overwhelming pressure to act now, to speak now, to decide now, driven by an emotional urgency that masquerades as necessity. The transformative solution is to consciously create a psychological space between the emotional impulse and the physical action. This is the practice of the view from above, a technique cherished by Stoics like Marcus Aurelius. It involves mentally zooming out from your immediate situation and viewing it as if from a great height. From this vantage point, your personal predicament, which feels so all-consuming up close, shrinks to its true proportion in the vast tapestry of human experience and the grand scale of the cosmos. This mental maneuver is not about belittling your problem, but about right-sizing it. It breaks the spell of emotional immediacy. The core idea is that distance creates perspective, and perspective is the fertile ground where wisdom grows. By intentionally creating this mental distance, you are not suppressing the emotion. You are placing it in a larger context. You are giving your rational mind the room it needs to breathe and to deliberate. The benefit is a profound sense of calm authority. You are no longer a frantic actor on a chaotic stage, but the calm director observing the play from the quiet of the wings, free to choose the most effective and virtuous course of action. To put this powerful technique into practice, you must train your mind like a muscle. The next time you feel a powerful surge of emotion, the sting of criticism, the panic of a sudden problem, initiate this three-step strategic retreat. First, mentally state, I am feeling a strong impulse to react. This simple acknowledgement creates the first hairline fracture in the fusion. Second, visualize yourself literally floating upwards, rising above your body, above the room, above the building, until your entire city is just a map below. See your specific situation as a single, tiny point of light in that vast grid. Third, from this elevated perspective, ask yourself, in the grand scheme of my entire life, how much will this specific moment truly matter in a day, in a year, in a decade? The consistent application of this practice will yield a life of increasing tranquility and purpose. You will find yourself less rattled by daily annoyances and more composed in the face of major crises. Your decisions will become less reactive and more strategic, You will preserve precious energy that was once wasted on pointless emotional firestorms and be able to invest it in constructive, purposeful action. This week, your practice is to become the astronaut of your own experience. At least once a day, whether you are feeling stressed or calm, practice taking the view from above. Let your mind become accustomed to this feeling of expansive perspective. See your life not just from the ground level, but from the serene silence of the stars. This is how you build the unshakable fortress of the mind. You are learning to see, to dissect, and now to create distance. The next logical step is to find an anchor, a solid foundation upon which to stand when the storms of emotion rage. Our next lesson will reveal how to anchor your thoughts to the unyielding bedrock of first principles. If this lesson has provided you with a new perspective, please let us know in the comments. We read every one, and your insights help our entire community grow. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Stoic Power to continue building your inner citadel with us. Lesson 4. Anchor thoughts to first principles. Imagine a magnificent ship, its sails billowing, navigating the vast and open sea. A sudden violent squall descends, and the waves rise like mountains. The inexperienced sailor frantically wrestles with the rudder, reacting to every individual wave, exhausting himself and getting thrown wildly off course. The veteran sea captain, however, acts differently. She ignores the chaos of the individual waves and keeps her eyes fixed on the North Star. Her every action is guided not by the immediate threat, but by that distant, unwavering point of light. That star is her first principle. It is her anchor in the storm. We all face a similar challenge in our inner lives. When emotional storms hit, our thoughts are tossed about like debris in the surf. We get lost in the details of the problem. He said this, and then she did that. And what if this happens? Our thinking becomes circular, reactive, and unproductive. We are wrestling with the individual waves. We lack a North Star. We react to the pressure of the moment, forgetting the purpose of the journey. This leaves us feeling lost, anxious, and at the mercy of conditions we cannot control. Our minds adrift without a rudder or a final destination. The transformative solution is to identify and internalize your own core principles, your personal North Star. These are the fundamental, non-negotiable truths and values that define your character and your vision of a good life. A first principle could be, I will always act with integrity, or I will choose compassion over judgment, or I will focus only on what is within my control. When an emotional storm hits, you deliberately disengage from the chaotic details of the situation and instead anchor your thoughts to these unwavering principles. You ask not, what should I do about this wave? But rather, what is the response that aligns with my deepest values? This practice is the epitome of Stoic thought. It is about living intentionally, not accidentally. The core idea is that principles are more powerful than problems. A problem is temporary and external, while a principle is enduring and internal. By anchoring your mind to your principles, you shift your focus from the uncontrollable turmoil outside to the controllable citadel within. The immediate benefit is a sense of profound stability and clarity. The storm may rage, but your internal compass holds true. To begin forging your own anchor, take some time this week for quiet reflection. Armed with a pen and paper, answer these questions. What virtues do I admire most in others? What do I want my legacy to be? What are the absolute, unbreakable rules I want to live by? Distill your answers into 3 to 5 core principles. Write them down. Memorize them. Meditate on them. These are no longer mere platitudes. They are now your operational commands. Then, the next time you feel overwhelmed by a difficult situation, pause, take a breath, and consciously ask yourself, which of my principles applies here? What action would be a living expression of my core values? By consistently filtering your responses through the lens of your principles, you will fundamentally transform your experience of life. Your actions will gain a new weight and coherence. You will no longer feel like a leaf in the wind, but like a deeply rooted oak, capable of weathering any storm. Your confidence will grow, not because you can control the world, but because you have absolute faith in your ability to control yourself. This week, your exercise is to be the captain of your ship. Define your North Star, your core principles. And in every decision, in every interaction, navigate by its light alone. See every challenge not as a crisis, but as an opportunity to practice living in alignment with your truest self. We have built distance and forged an anchor. But even with the best anchor, the storms will still come. The mind will still threaten to break loose. Therefore, our next lesson must be about training for the storm itself. We will explore the art of cultivating stillness precisely when the tempest is at its fiercest. To ensure you are on board for that critical lesson, take a moment to subscribe to Stoic Power and click the bell icon. Join the growing number of souls committed to reclaiming their inner peace and strength. Lesson 5. Train stillness. In mental storms, consider the deep ocean. On the surface, a hurricane may rage, churning the water into a violent, chaotic foam. The waves may crash with terrifying power, but if you were to descend 100 feet, you would find the water is calm. At 500 feet, it is utterly silent and still. The deep ocean is unmoved by the surface turmoil. This is the human mind, trained in the art of Stoic stillness. It possesses a place of deep, inviolable tranquility that the storms of life cannot touch. The great trial of our inner life is that we live on the surface. When the winds of adversity blow, a sudden job loss, a painful betrayal, a frightening diagnosis, our minds become the storm. Our thoughts race, our focus shatters, and a feeling of panic or despair churns within us, mirroring the chaos of the external event. We believe that to be in the storm is to be the storm. We forget that we possess a depth, a place of profound stillness that is always accessible, yet we lack the training and the map to find it in the moment we need it most. We are tossed about on the waves of our own reactivity, convinced that this turbulent surface is the only reality. The transformative solution is to proactively train for stillness, to practice descending into your inner depths during times of calm, so that it becomes an instinct during times of chaos. This is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about finding the stillness within the storm itself. The practice involves dedicated moments of non-doing, of simply being present with your own breath and body, allowing the surface noise of the mind to play out without your engagement. It is the conscious cultivation of the inner sanctuary. The core idea, central to Stoicism, is that our inner state does not have to be a reflection of our outer world. We can create and maintain an internal environment of peace and order, regardless of the external environment of chaos and disorder. The benefit is the development of a resilient composure, an inner calm that is not dependent on external conditions. It is the ability to face life's fiercest storms, not with frantic fear, but with a quiet, powerful equanimity. Your training begins not in a crisis, but in the quiet moments of your daily life. Commit to practicing stillness minutes. Twice a day, set a timer for just 3 minutes. Find a comfortable place to sit. Close your eyes. Your only task is to focus on the physical sensation of your breath, entering and leaving your body. Your mind will inevitably wander. It will generate lists, worries, and memories. This is the surface turmoil. Do not fight it. Do not get frustrated. Simply notice that your mind has wandered and gently, without judgment, guide your attention back to your breath. Each time you do this, you are practicing the art of descending from the surface to the depths. As you build this muscle of stillness, you will find its benefits permeating your entire life. You will develop the ability to access a calm, clear mind on demand. When a real-life storm hits, the path to your inner sanctuary will be well-worn and familiar. You will be able to find that point of stillness amidst the chaos, allowing you to think more clearly and act more effectively. Your practice for this week is to be the deep ocean. Do not skip your stillness minutes. Treat them as the most important appointments of your day. They are your training sessions for life's inevitable tempests. Learn to find comfort in the silence, to find strength in the stillness. This is how you become truly unshakable. You can now recognize emotion, deconstruct it, create distance from it, anchor your thoughts, and find stillness within it. The final steps are to act. How do we move from this place of inner calm to engage with the world in a powerful and purposeful way? Our next lesson will explore how to respond with purpose, not pressure. If you have found a moment of spread this peace by sharing this video with someone who might need it, and by subscribing to Stoic Power. Lesson 6. Respond with purpose, not pressure. Imagine a quiet fire burning steadily in the heart of a disciplined soul. This fire is purpose. It provides light to see the path forward and warmth to endure the cold. Now imagine a sudden, explosive flash of gunpowder. This is pressure. It is a chaotic, uncontrolled release of energy that creates much noise and smoke, but ultimately burns out in an instant, leaving only darkness behind. The untrained soul lives by the flash of gunpowder, while the Stoic soul is warmed by the enduring flame. A universal human struggle is the feeling of being constantly under pressure. We feel the pressure to succeed, the pressure to meet others' expectations, the pressure to respond immediately to every email and every demand. This relentless sense of urgency forces us into a reactive state. Our actions are not guided by a deep inner conviction, but are frantic attempts to relieve the discomfort of the pressure. We act because we feel we have to, not because we have consciously chosen to. This leads to a life of burnout, resentment, and a nagging feeling that we are constantly busy but achieving nothing of real importance. We are living by the flash, not the flame. The transformative solution is to learn to act from a place of purpose, not pressure. This requires a deliberate, conscious shift in your internal operating system. Before taking any significant action, you must pause and connect with your why. You ask yourself, is this action a step toward the person I want to become and the life I want to build? Does it serve my core principles? This simple interrogation acts as a filter, allowing you to distinguish between the urgent distractions driven by external pressure and the important actions dictated by your inner purpose. This is the very heart of a Stoic life, to ensure that our outer actions are always in harmony with our inner values. The core idea is that purpose is a compass, while pressure is merely a goad. A compass provides direction and allows for thoughtful navigation. A goad simply forces movement, often in the wrong direction. The incredible benefit of this shift is the emergence of a sustainable, internally generated motivation. You are no longer fueled by the stressful, depleting energy of anxiety, but by the calm, enduring, and inspiring energy of conviction. To integrate this principle into your life, you must become a guardian of your own actions. For the next week, before you say yes to any request or embark on any new task, perform a purpose check. Take one full, conscious breath. In that space, ask yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with my purpose, or because I feel pressured? Be ruthlessly honest with your answer. If the action serves your purpose, proceed with your full energy and commitment. If it is driven solely by pressure, give yourself permission to decline, to delegate, to delay, or to simply let it go. This will feel difficult at first, as we are conditioned to please and to appease. The reward for this discipline is a life of profound integrity and focus. You will find that as you shed the obligations born of pressure, you create vast new reserves of time and energy for the things that truly matter. Your work will feel more meaningful, your relationships more authentic, and your sense of self more solid. You will become a person of quiet power, whose actions are not loud and frantic, but steady, deliberate, and impactful. Your practice this week is to tend to your inner flame. Guard it fiercely. Before you act, consult your purpose. Let it be the light that guides every step you take. Say no to the flash of gunpowder so that you can say yes to the enduring fire within. We are now equipped to act with calm purpose. But what of the emotions themselves? Are they simply to be ignored or conquered? The final and most subtle lesson of our journey addresses this question directly. We will learn how to rule our emotions without trying to suppress them. This is the ultimate art of Stoic mastery. Don't miss this crucial conclusion. Subscribe to Stoic Power and comment below with one action you will take this week that is driven purely by your purpose. Lesson 7. Rule emotion. Don't suppress it. Think of a skilled horseman guiding a powerful, spirited stallion. He does not try to break the horse's spirit or to chain it into submission. That would destroy the very vitality that makes the horse magnificent. Instead, he learns the horse's nature, its power, and its tendencies. Through gentle guidance, a firm hand on the reins, and a deep understanding, he channels the horse's immense energy toward a productive goal. He rules the horse not by crushing its spirit, but by harmonizing with it. This is the Stoic relationship with emotion. The most common and dangerous misconception about Stoicism is that it advocates for the suppression of emotion, for the creation of a cold, unfeeling, robotic inner state. Many of us, in our quest for self-mastery, fall into this trap. We feel a surge of sadness or anger, and we try to shove it down to pretend it isn't there. This act of suppression is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes enormous energy, and eventually the emotion will erupt to the surface with even greater, more uncontrollable force. This approach doesn't lead to tranquility. It leads to a fragile, brittle numbness and unexpected emotional explosions. The final, transformative solution is to understand that the goal is not suppression, but wise governance. It is to rule your emotions as a just and intelligent king rules his kingdom, not by eliminating the populace, but by channeling their energies toward the common good. This means acknowledging the emotion, accepting its presence, understanding the information it might be conveying, and then consciously choosing a response that aligns with your Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. The core idea is that emotions are raw energy. Energy itself is not good or bad. It is simply power. The question is how you will wield that power. Will you let the energy of anger explode into destructive rage, or will you channel it into a courageous and just action to right a wrong? The benefit of this approach is true emotional freedom. You are no longer at war with yourself. You integrate your emotional life with your rational mind, creating a whole, powerful, and authentic human being. To practice this art of emotional governance, you must become a wise ruler. When a strong emotion arises, instead of pushing it away, invite it in for a respectful audience. First, acknowledge it. I see you, sadness. Second, listen to it with detached curiosity. What information are you bringing me? Is there a loss I need to grieve? An injustice I need to address? Third, thank it for the information. Thank you for this signal. Finally, make a conscious, virtuous choice. Now, based on this information and my core principles, I will choose to act in this way. You might channel the energy of anxiety into careful planning. You might transform the energy of grief into a deeper appreciation for the loved ones still with you. By practicing this wise and compassionate self-governance, you will achieve a level of mastery that suppression could never offer. You will be able to experience the full spectrum of human feeling without being controlled by it. Your emotional life will become a source of strength, insight, and energy, rather than a source of turmoil and fear. You will become the skilled horseman, guiding the magnificent power of your own spirit with wisdom and grace. Your final practice is to be the just king of your own inner kingdom. This week, when emotions visit, do not exile them. Grant them an audience. Listen to their counsel, and then rule with virtue. We have journeyed through the 7 sacred stages of the Stoic pause. You now possess the tools to recognize emotion, create distance, anchor your thoughts, and respond with purpose. This is the path to ruling your inner world, allowing you to live with unshakable confidence and profound strength. Thank you for dedicating your time to this journey of self-mastery. If this wisdom has resonated with you, please like this video, comment with your greatest insight, and subscribe to Stoic Power to continue fortifying your mind. Your journey has just begun.